Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode. Today we are bringing you a rig rundown on our 80 Series Land Cruiser.
This one has been a long time coming. We bought this car about a year ago now almost, and we have been doing a backyard build. This car has come a long way. If you haven't been following along, we did a build series on that and we've done a lot of work. So let's take a look at some before and afters as we go along, and Michael will give you a rundown and show you what we've done.
Let's get into it. So for those of you that are new to the channel, this is a 1991 80 Series Land Cruiser 1HGT, so factory turbo. When we got this car, she was pretty how you going. She needed a refurb. So our first mission was to strip this car back completely, get everything off it, and we got stuck into some rust repairs. So throughout the car we had rust all through the front. Me and my granddad got stuck straight into it, repaired all the rust that we could find and that needed it, and that was our first mission before we got stuck into the mods. So let's take a look at the front and see all the mods that we've done. So up front we have the Razzler new style Azabar. Now we decided to go this. Not only does it look great, but it's going to protect the front of our vehicle, and it sits up nice and high compared to our old one, and there's no rust in it, so that's a positive. And we decided to put a carbon 12,000 pound winch in there. We've always gone carbon. We've got it on the 300, it's never let us down, so we've decided to go with that. We also replaced the headlights in it. We just went for some aftermarket, the same ones that were in it, but the old ones had a bit of fog in it, so we decided to get some freshies. And then as we move over here, you've got Eco X Gear UHF. So we've got the UHF pack from Eco X Gear. We decided to go this smaller one because we're going to be doing a lot of off-roading, hard tracks, and we need the shorter one so we can communicate to our friends while we're on the tracks. So that's pretty much the front, as you'll see it there. Underneath we've got the custom off-road bash plates. We got them on the 300 and it protects up everything underneath that we need. So that was a must mod. We chucked them on and they look schmicko. They're going to protect everything under there as well, so definitely a must do. Previously we had a factory airbox and a safari snorkel. Now we wanted to upgrade that. One, because our airbox was absolutely had it, and two, because we've always ran stainless snorkels. It fits in with the look of the car and it's just super practical and durable. So we paired it up with the Moonlight stainless performance snorkel and airbox, and I tell you what, does it look a treat, and it's going to serve a purpose when you guys watch us on the Cape. So yeah, we installed that all together and it looks amazing. And whilst we've got the hood up, we also installed the Harrop breather kit. So that runs to our front diff, rear diff, gearbox and transfer case. So that's going to keep all of that nice and safe when we're doing those deep water crossings. The old flares that we had on the 80 they were all cracked and they had seen better days. So we decided to wrap it in a new set, exactly the same thing, but it just makes the car look so fresh and neat. Doesn't have any cracks. That's one thing. We wanted practicality, but we also wanted the car to come up looking a treat. So they look pretty damn good if you ask me. As we're making our way down the side, we decided to keep the side steps that were on it. They're super tough and durable. They look great. So we just decided, why not save a bit of money and just leave the ones that were already on there. As we move up, we decided to tint fully down the sides and the rear. Why? It looks cool and it actually keeps the car very cool as well. So we're not going to get, you know, super hot in the inside the cab of the vehicle. It's going to keep our battery and fridge all sweet in the back as well. So the idea of this car, guys, is that this is going to be our touring car without the van, our super tourer as most would call it. So we've decided to hook it up with a full setup on the roof, a bed, a shower tent. We got the rooftop tent mounted on the Rhino racks. We've got maxis up the top. You've got a solar panel up there, 200 watt solar panel. So this thing is going to be very comfortable when we're out in the middle of nowhere, and we can fully set up in this and be comfortable on the road. Another little mod that we had to do, a little bit of in-house fabrication. We had to make these brackets up off the rear bar for our Pinnacle mud flaps to make them all legal. We had to do that when we were getting our engineering report done, just so they sat within legal height off the ground. But they sit off our nice Razzler rear bar, so let's take a look at that. So as I said, the rear is wrapped in the Razzler rear bar. Now that's their new style one, it's a high clearance one. So our last one sat down very low and was very chunky and bulky and heavy, so we decided to wrap it in something a little bit lighter and more practical. Let's get this thing undone and show you what it's all about. So we've got our twin jerry can holder. We got one fuel, one water in there at the moment for our trip. And then we've got the spare tyre swing away. Now, one thing I do love about this rear bar, and a lot of other people do as well, is the handles on this thing. They're super, like, just grabbing it is just super nice. It's got the little indents for your fingers and everything. So, big tick to Razzler there. Rear lights are super bright. Looks pretty neat at the back. And yeah, definitely a nice added mod that we've done to the rear. Another little mod we've done is this crash pad rear tyre bag. Now this thing is super durable. We've had a couple in our time that have just been not durable. If you've seen our episodes, we had one ripped to pieces by dingoes on Fraser. Now this thing, you can just feel it, just by looking at it, is super durable. So this is going to be our rubbish bag and might hold a few spares or snatch straps or stuff like that. So some of you may recognise this side of the car. This side of the car was very average. There was paint missing all here, so we decided, you know what, we're going to tidy it up and give it a fresh coat of paint, make it all look nice and neat and tidy. And that has come up a treat. Just makes the whole car blend down the side. So that is a modification that is very underestimated and just makes the car pop a little bit. As we're on this side, we have our friend's Bushwhacker 270 awning. We decided to borrow it for the trip and get a bit of use out of it and see if it's something that we're going to like. Another little custom fabrication mod that we had to do. My grandfather is an absolute wizard on the welder. So he made us up some brackets that sit out a little high because, as you would notice, we've got an awning either side. We can't jump up in the ladder on the side. So we had to come in through the rear and it just wasn't clearing the tailgate. So he fabbed up these nice little brackets that come off. We can hook the ladder on and get up there nice and safely without scratching and marking the car. So Grandad, you done us a solid there, thank you. In case you haven't watched our build series, we're going to run through what we've kept in regards to suspension and driveline and what we've changed. So let's get stuck into it. People would be wondering what suspension we're running. It's a Dobinson's 3-inch in the rear and 2-inch in the front. That come on the car. We've just decided to keep it like that for now. Maybe down the track we'll upgrade that, but for now it's going to do the job. Now the rear, we had a pretty much complete rebuild, and Caitlin will definitely agree with me because it hurt the pocket a little bit. We had to rebuild the whole rear diff. So new axles, everything. And while that was apart, we decided to chuck a Harrop E-locker in it at the same time. So that all got sent off to Pinnacle and they done the full rebuild on that to us. As well as a tail shaft as well, actually. That got a full rebuild and sent back to us. We put it all back in and that runs like a dream, looks like a dream at the moment. But it's just one of those things that we had to do. So in the front, we've also got an ARB air locker. So this thing is twin locked. So I'm hoping that this thing is just going to perform crazy good. We'll keep you posted on that. We're going to give her a bit of a shakedown at the Cape. But yeah, that's pretty much the underside. Oh, we had to put a rear sway bar, heavy duty sway bar in, and we replaced a few bushes on the front. Obviously new bushes in the rear sway bars. We've got adjustable panhard rods. When you lift your car, you need adjustable panhard rods to sit the body central to the diffs. So we got front and rear adjustable panhards. So that's pretty much the underside of the car. So while we're down here, we've also got they look a bit dusty at the moment, but a fresh set of rims. Now, why we had to do that was because when we went for our engineer certificate, our wheel track was way too wide and it was only by maybe 15 mil. So we had to bring that in a little bit, and by doing that, we had to get a new set of rims. Now we've got the King D-hole Steely, so exactly what we had on it. They're going to do the trick and they're going to be super durable. And while I'm here, we've also got the iCheck TPMS system. We've run it in the 300 and the Luxy when we had that. So we thought, why not run it in this? Super useful. So now that we're moving on to the inside, this 80 was a bit battered and bruised on the inside. So we done a full mission, stripped the inside. Literally everything was out of this car. The seats were out of it. We decided to switch from carpet to vinyl flooring. Then once we started piecing all that back together, we got the seats in there. We've paired up with Grab-On Co for a set of paracord handles. Now they look schmicko, custom colours and everything. They look wicked. Another thing we done on the inside is we installed a dash mat. The dash was pretty cracked and looked yuck. So we covered that up and it looks a lot better, and we're able to stick things on it like our TPMS system. We also have Razorback seat covers and steering wheel cover. If you guys want a little discount on these, we're going to drop the link in the description for you guys to cop a discount, because these seat covers are, as you know, super durable, super comfy, and they just make the inside of this car look literally brand new. This looks just as good as a 300. Now that's crazy. This is a 1991 vehicle, and I'm saying that. So that really speaks for itself. And yeah, the steering wheel cover, we got the center console cover, and yeah, just really tidies up the inside of the car. Up front, we've also got the EcoX Gear UHF handheld. So we mounted that on Caitlin's side. It was probably the best side that we could mount that on, and she's able to access it as well. So that's super handy having that there. And also on her side of the car, we've mounted a fire extinguisher on the floor that's literally in the bolt holes of the seat. That was a super easy modification, and one that is a definite must in my opinion. The aim of the game with the rear of the 80 was to create as much storage as we possibly could. So we're going to show you guys how we've exactly done that. So we're going to start off with the drawer setup. Now, we got this done at Pinnacle 4x4. This is their Zenith Gen 2 drawers for the 80 series Land Cruiser. And hasn't it come up a treat? We got the 4 drawers on the left, and we've got the drawer for the fridge, and we've also got a little nook here for a table that just pulls out nice and easy, but it also sits in there nice and firm. I'll just pull it out to show you guys. Like, look at that. And there's even space behind that if we want to chuck something else in there. So they've really thought about how they can use every single bit of this whole structure, and it's even left us some space on top. Now, you're probably looking at the car and thinking, geez, that's a little busy in there. We've packed this thing because we're literally heading to the Cape in a couple of days. But the reason we've done that is to show you guys how much we can fit in this whole setup and the drawers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it, and I'm going to show you guys how much we've crammed into these drawers. This is our food drawer. And that's chockers. That's going to hold all our food for the Cape trip, as well as the frozen stuff in the fridge. Now, the fridge is a 95 litre Dometic, and that is just massive. So we've got our fridge freezer here. That is sitting on the slide out drawer. It's also got the cable track. Now what that does is it keeps the cable from jamming when you're shutting and opening your drawer. So they've really thought about keeping this setup as simple and clean as possible, and it just looks like a treat. We've got great quality carpet on top, so that's going to be easy to clean. Through the drawers here, we've got a bit of kitchen stuff in this drawer, so this is going to be heavily used while on the road. We'll close that one up. And then this one, there's a bit of everything in here. We're going to have all our fluids and stuff in there, shovel, a little bit of knickknacks that we're going to be using quite often. And then we've got our tools and spare parts in the top drawer. Now that is chockers. I've pretty much got everything in that drawer. So that shows you how much space they've really given you to use. So if you didn't think there was enough storage there, take a look here. We've got these huge open gaps down the side. We've got 10 litre water cartons on top of each other. I've got a chair there, And we're going to replicate pretty much the same on the other side, but we've got our air compressor on that side, and there's stuff even behind that. So that shows you how much we're able to fit in here. And as you can see as well, on top, we've also got recovery gear, a Starlink, ladder for the rooftop tent. We've got our lithium battery setup on the left as well with our inverter. That's mounted facing the front so we can get to it. And then above all that, we've got our Get Good Gear rear molly shelf. So this thing is super useful. Our clothes are going to be all stored up there, and they were kind enough to jump on board for this build. So we're going to put a discount code in the description for you guys. They were kind enough to give one to us for all of our followers. So make sure if you've got an 80 series, you jump on board with one of these rear shelves, because I'll tell you what, they sit up nice and high and they just look clean and they give you so much storage to use. Right, so we have the tailgate storage set up here. We decided to go with this because it just creates that little bit of extra storage. Now, I'm not going to go out and say that this is a huge amount of storage, but you've got these little pockets tucked down here, and you've got a thin spot here. I'm going to sit my socket set there. I've got spanners there, a couple of ropes and whatnot for the awning. So that's just giving us that little bit of extra storage where needed. Well, that's the 80 series rig rundown, all done and dusted. And guys, she's come up a treat. If you've enjoyed watching this episode, make sure to leave a like and a comment. It goes a long way. But stay tuned, because we are heading up to the Cape York in this rig. And I think it's going to be one hell of a trip. So we'll see you guys in the next episode.